Hygge relies very heavily on physical comfort, so cozy textures, warmth, closeness, soft lighting, slowing down. This is a place where physical touch, people, the love language can just come alive. And things like softness coupled with touch, or warmth coupled with touch, proximity, all these things communicate love in such a dynamic way to the physical touch person. Do you want to achieve your goals, but anxiety is tripping you up? Like to keep those fun weekend plans, but depression has you counseling again? Hey, I'm Lori, dog mom, lover of nature, and hygge enthusiast. Positive psychology skills help me overcome chronic severe PTSD. If you're ready to learn how to overcome your anxiety and depression and rediscover happiness and purpose in life, then get your cozy on and let's get started. Welcome back to Practical Solutions for PTSD. I'm so excited to bring you this fifth love language in the Cozy and Chaos series. So we're talking about how to use your love language to customize your hygge practice. Now, I talked about this in an earlier episode, but if you haven't caught it, hygge is a Scandinavian practice that helps you to slow down, enjoy the moment. It helps you to connect to others, all kinds of other stuff. Basically, it's a fantastic practice to help you calm your anxiety, overcome your depression, specifically seasonal affective disorder. It helps you to connect to others, break free from isolation, etc. So if you have missed any of the episodes, strongly encourage you to go back and look. They're all titled under the title of the Cozy and Chaos series. You can find those there. Identify your love language. Use that to help you build your hygge practice. It will help you to get through the winter with a smile on your face and some pep in your step. So for today, I want you to take a moment, grab a warm beverage. For me, it's going to be a hot cup of tea. Curl up under a blanket and sit back and enjoy this one where we talk about our final love language. Welcome back to our mini-series, Cozy in the Chaos, where we're talking about customizing your hygge rituals by your love language. And today we're talking about our fifth love language, and that is physical touch. And we're going to look at it through the calming, cozy lens of hygge. Now, physical touch is probably the most misunderstood love language because people often automatically assume that touch has to be romantic or sexual in nature. And while there can be some crossover, it's really two very different things. The love language of physical touch is looking for safety and grounding. It's about warmth, physical presence. And this is literally where the nervous system calms down when connected with another human being. And we see this very, very early on. Literally from birth. So like with NICU patients, when babies are born prematurely, they'll often have people come in and volunteer to hold them skin to skin. Because that physical touch, that touch with another human can help co-regulate their system. So this does it, and more than just in NICU patients, it does it for people like grown up people as well. It can be very grounding and helping them to know that I'm in this present moment and there's someone here with me. And it's how people say, without words, you're safe with me, is through safe, gentle touches. So when you look at this, and we look at hygge with its blankets, warmth, closeness, softness, a slow pace, this is the perfect place for physical touch to just come alive. Today we're going to talk about the psychology behind this love language, how to express it gently and respectfully, and how hygge rituals can strengthen emotional bonds through safe and comforting touch. And I'm going to try very hard to keep this within my time limits, but physical touch is my primary love language, and so there are all kinds of rabbit trails I'm going to want to go down. I'm going to try to limit them, but this one might run a little bit longer than some of the others. So why is physical touch so deeply healing? And I mentioned referenced this already, but touch is the first way humans bond. When we're infants, we're held to be fed, we're held to be changed, to be comforted. It's just all that. And then there's also hormones that our body releases in response to safe touch. So there's oxytocin, also known as the cuddle hormone, which is the connection hormone. You have endorphins that are released with physical touch, and that equates to comfort and relief. You have serotonin that's released, which equates to calm. Touch also lowers cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and it slows your heart rate. So it literally, in a very physical sense, literally regulates and relaxes the nervous system. So people who speak this love language will feel loved when they're experiencing things like hugs, hand holding, sitting or walking close to someone, gentle touches, a hand on their back, a physical closeness, snuggling, warmth. All these things can help communicate love to them. And I mean, there's times I can remember distinctly when a friend of mine, I was at work and I was really stressed, and he wasn't even thinking about it. He just reached up and put his hand like right around my shoulder blades, between my shoulder blades and my back. Immediately, I can still remember it, and it's been 16 years. Distinctly remember that. The first time I went to Kuwait, I was like, was it 3,000 miles away from home? I literally did not know a single person on that post except the soldier who sponsored me. That was it. And when we would be walking between buildings, I would tend to walk really close to him without even thinking. And there were people that were like, man, she's hitting on you. I wasn't. I was looking for that physical closeness because I was scared half out of my mind. I had no clue. I was so far out of my comfort zone, it wasn't even funny. And he was the one person on that entire campus that I knew. That was it. And so I was seeking that grounding, that physical touch to let me know that I was going to be safe. So for those of us that speak physical touch, touch is not optional. It is literally our emotional lifeblood. It is our bloodstream. It is the one thing that keeps us grounded and going. It is so, so important. But it can be super simple. It doesn't have to be really complicated. And one of the beauties of hygge, and I think this is probably one reason why I fell in love with hygge so much, is hygge relies very heavily on physical comfort, like cozy textures, warmth, closeness, soft lighting, slowing down. For all these things, for us in the physical touch realm, this can be so deeply nourishing, and it can nurture us and help us to feel safe. So there are 3 categories I'm going to talk to you about how you can communicate touch in a hygge environment. So one is through softness and touch. And for those of you that have been listening to me for a while, you know I've mentioned this before, and how when I'd be having an anxiety attack, having a soft blanket to hold on to could really help me. So soft blankets is part of that. A warm sweater, fuzzy socks, a plush pillow. All these cozy textures support the love language and can help calm you down. And it's a way that you can communicate love to yourself without having to have that external touch, especially if it was a gift from someone that can help anchor that a little bit more. So number 2 is warmth and touch. So warmth can increase the feeling of safety that you get and the regulation that you get from physical touch. It can multiply that. So this could be through a shared blanket, a warm drink while sitting close to someone, a heated throw, holding hands, having a dog snuggle in your lap. This can all help communicate that safety and grounding that you need as a physical touch person. And the third way is proximity, which equals emotional closeness. And this is one reason why I would walk so close to my battle buddy the first time I went to Kuwait, because I was looking for that proximity to let me know that I was safe in this very foreign world. So simply sitting next to someone speaks volumes. For someone to voluntarily come up and sit next to you, if you're a person of physical touch, that is huge. It's a big thing. So hygge creates a perfect atmosphere for this, with close seating, candle glow, quiet evenings, peaceful environment. All these things are very hygge and can really minister to the heart and soul of a physical touch person. So there's some ways that you can show a physical touch and can nurture that, and where it's very natural. We're going to cover some of that here for you. So the first one is to start with micro touches. Now, if this is something that you're not really good at, or you're not super comfortable and instinctive about it, this is start small. Don't just like jump in and give them a bear hug. Start small. So it could be a hand on a shoulder, touching their arm when talking. Sitting closer to them. You're not sitting clear across the living room, but just sitting next to them on the couch, maybe, or right across from them in a chair. A warm hug in the kitchen, a squeeze of the hand, a kiss on the forehead or the cheek. Tiny touches matter a lot. And I've already mentioned this once, but just one touch on my back when I was in a very uncomfortable position, and I remember it 16 years later, it can be very impactful, just very simple touches. So you can also, second way is to create touch-based routines. And I was reading this and I'm like, oh man, this was so me. When I was a kid growing up, and even into my teen years and into my college years, anytime I was home, I'd come stumbling out of my bedroom half asleep, and the first thing I would do was find my mom and give her a good morning hug. For the last 11 years, each morning with my dogs, I give them good morning hugs. It's just part of our routine. And that's something that you could set up. Good night kisses, which I used to do when I was a kid growing up. Don't do it anymore. Well, I do sometimes kiss my dog, but you just have that good night kiss where you're being able to connect with somebody. Maybe having a little bit of snuggle time before you go to bed. Sitting side by side for a show or a story or whatever you're looking at. Holding hands while you're walking. And it could just be, like a casual holding hands. It doesn't have to be super intense. But this creates predictability and safety in the relationship because it's very routine. So third way is to touch through shared cozy activities. So if you're sitting down and you've got a blanket, thrown over your laps, maybe holding hands on top of the blanket is fine, or wrapping an arm around them. You can give them foot rubs, back rubs. I'll take a back rub, please. My shoulders are killing me. Curling up together, and this could be like curling up with your pet. Also works here. Reading together on the couch or in close proximity, having tea time or coffee time while snuggling. A cup of hot chocolate works too. So, hygge encourages gentleness and a slowness and accepting of the moment. Number 4 is to ask what type of touch feels safe and comforting. And this is especially important when you're dealing with trauma survivors of whatever. I mean, it could be PTSD that is completely unrelated to physical touch, and yet it's stressing out the nervous system. So you want to make sure the way that you're touching this person is safe to them. You also want to make sure that it's consensual. In case you know the person really well, you don't want to just walk up to them and give them random hugs. You want to make sure that it's consensual and they're good with it. If they have requested it, there's your green light. Or you could even ask them, are you okay if I do this? So making sure that both parties are in agreement with that. And making sure it's welcomed. So sometimes, even for physical touch people, sometimes I can't handle being touched. And people that know me well can usually pick up on that. But make sure it's welcomed by the individual. So if you are the one who speaks physical touch, you may feel most loved when someone holds you, when you can cuddle with someone, or even with your dogs. I love cuddling with my pets. When you can sit close to someone, when someone initiates touch. Now, being a physical touch person, I often initiate touch, but when someone initiates it with me, it is very deeply meaningful to me. When someone embraces you when you're sad, I know for myself, when I'm really going through it, I have a friend of mine, physical touch is not one of hers, but she will do it for me. When she knows I'm really struggling and having a hard time, she will offer and give me a hug when I need that and just let me cry. There's some ways that you can also use hygge to meet your own needs when it comes to physical touch. And I love this about hygge. It's really awesome. So invest in some soft, comforting textures, those textures that just really touch your heart. Use warm blankets for self-soothing. Say that fast 5 times. Weighted blankets for grounding. And I had a friend of mine give me a weighted blanket. Man, it's been probably 3 or 4 years ago. And it helped me so much. In the heat of summer, I would still sleep with that thing because it helped me so much. And I still sleep with it sometimes now, although right now it's more for warmth than it is for grounding. But it can make such a ginormous difference just having that weight on you. A warm bath is another way, so that warmth communicates safety. Self hugs or pressure can be very regulating. Snuggling with a pet, yay! Something I love to do. And then you can even ask, if you know someone really well, you can just ask them, can I have a hug? Or if you're comfortable asking for that from whomever, you can just ask for a hug. And just keep in mind, your body needs comfort. So needing physical touch is not a weakness. It's part of human nature. From clear back from the time we were born, it's part of human nature. And this is the way that your heart understands love the most. And so it's perfectly fine that you need physical touch. And for those people that are close to you and are open to it, sit down and talk to them and let them understand what your needs are. So if you have someone in your life, your partner, your friend, your child, whatever it is, where physical touch is important to them, give more hugs than you think that they need. Just give them a few extra, especially if you're not a physical touch person and you're like, okay, I don't need a hug. I had one last week. I don't need another one. That's not going to be the same thing for someone whose love language is physical touch. So give them even more than you need yourself. Sit close to that person instead of clear across the room. Initiate touch regularly. This is really important that you are taking the initiative to touch them on a regular basis. And again, this could just be a hand on a shoulder, a tap on their hand, whatever. It doesn't have to be a huge, big ordeal, but just initiate that touch on a regular basis. Hold them during stressful moments and learn their favorite kind of touch. There may be something that is more meaningful to them than something else. Maybe they really enjoy holding hands, or they prefer your arm around their shoulder, or whatever it is. Just find out what their favorite touch is and do it. Use warmth. Combine warmth with that physical touch. So heated blanket, soft textures, whatever that could be, include that warmth. A physical touch, people, we don't need intensity. We just need consistency. So we don't need to have these big, huge, grand and glorious moments. We just need to consistently know that you care about us, that you love us, and you do that by touching us regularly. And it could be just the simplest things, but it can communicate so much. So physical touch tells you love is felt, not just heard. And hygge says comfort is created through warmth, closeness, and softness. So when you combine the two, your home becomes a place of emotional grounding, gentle presence, and even deeper connection. So this concludes the 5 love languages, but I do want to give one more episode to help pull it all together and help you create your own personalized hygge love language ritual. So we're going to do that, and it'll close out this season, or this mini series. So one more episode to go, and we're going to wrap this up, and I wish you guys all the best, and I hope that you find something to stay warm, stay tender, stay human, stay in contact, stay in touch, in the very literal sense, and we'll see you back here next time. If you would like some additional information on how to catch up with the Cozy into Chaos series, you can email me at info@practicalsolutionsforptsd.com. That's info@practicalsolutionsforptsd.com.